Let me tell you something. Money doesn't follow people with ideas. It follows people with skills. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has dreams, but the marketplace does not pay for dreams. It pays for execution. You see, business is not about luck. It's about leverage. And leverage comes from mastering the right skills. So today, I want to talk about the 4 skills that can make you rich in any business, no matter who you are, where you come from, or what industry you're in. Because once you master these 4, you'll never have to chase money again. Money will start chasing you. Let me tell you something powerful. The difference between those who dream of success and those who live it is not luck, not connections, not timing. It's skill. You see, the marketplace doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't pay for your passion. It rewards your competence. Because at the end of the day, the only language money understands is value, and value comes from skill. Everybody has an idea. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to build a business, start a brand, or create something great. But when you strip away the noise, what separates the few who rise from the many who fall is not what they want. It's what they can do. Because skills are the currency of greatness. Skills turn dreams into deliverables, ideas into impact, and effort into earnings. Now listen carefully. Ideas are everywhere. You can find them on the internet, in coffee shops, in boardrooms, in casual conversations. But execution, that's rare. The world is full of thinkers, but empty of doers. And doers are made through discipline, through skill, through the relentless pursuit of mastery. Because when you become great at something, not average, not decent, but exceptional, the world takes notice. You become irreplaceable. You become valuable. You become necessary. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you met a broke person who was truly excellent at what they do? Excellence attracts prosperity. Skill attracts opportunity. People don't pay you because they like you. They pay you because you solve a problem they can't solve on their own. And the sharper your skill, the higher your value in the market. That's why you must stop chasing shortcuts and start chasing skill. You can lose money, you can lose followers, you can lose clients, but if you have skills, you'll get it all back. Because skills are portable. They move with you. You can take them anywhere, into any business, any industry, any economy, and they'll feed you. They'll open doors that talent alone can't unlock. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Your idea won't make you rich. Your execution will. Your degree won't make you successful. Your application of knowledge will. The people who rise to the top aren't the ones who know the most. They're the ones who can do the most. Skill turns potential into performance. Think about the greatest entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders. They didn't just hope their way to success. They built skill day after day, repetition after repetition. They didn't pray for opportunities. They prepared for them. Because when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. You must be ready to perform. And here's the hook. When you develop rare skills, money starts chasing you. You won't have to beg for clients or compete on price because people will pay more for someone who is the best, not the cheapest. And when you become that person, the one who delivers excellence every single time, you stop competing and start dominating. Every business owner must understand this. Your business will never outperform your personal skill set. If you don't grow, your business won't grow. You can't expect to lead $1 million company with $100 skills. The level of your income will always reflect the level of your competence. So if you want to multiply your income, multiply your ability. This is why the most successful people invest more in learning than in luxury. They read, they listen, they attend, they observe, because they understand that skill compounds. Every new thing you learn adds a layer to your strength. Every time you refine your craft, your value rises. That's how wealth is built, one skill at a time. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine 2 people starting the same business. One has passion but no skill. The other has skill, maybe not as much passion. Who do you think wins? Every time, it's the one with the skill. Because skill brings results, and results bring credibility. And credibility is what makes people trust you, follow you, and pay you. Passion without skill is energy without direction. Skill turns that energy into impact. And don't make the mistake of thinking that skill is static. The world changes, industries evolve, and technology moves faster than ever. The skill that made you relevant yesterday might make you redundant tomorrow. That's why growth must be your lifestyle. Keep learning, keep adapting, keep refining. You're not competing with people anymore. You're competing with speed. And speed belongs to the skilled. You must train like your future depends on it, because it does. You must read like your next level is hidden in a paragraph, because it is. You must practice until your execution becomes your identity, because skill is not something you do, it's something you become. It becomes your signature, your calling card, your unfair advantage. And here's the truth. When you become exceptional at something, you won't need to chase attention. The world will find you. Opportunities will call your name, because people always search for those who can deliver. Skill gives you that power. It gives you control over your destiny. It allows you to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what elevates you. So when I say skills make you rich, I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about freedom. The freedom to choose, the freedom to build, the freedom to live on your own terms. Because skill gives you confidence. And confidence is the highest currency in business. When you know what you can do, you stop doubting, you stop waiting, you stop comparing, you move with certainty. You don't need permission when you have skill. You don't need validation when you have competence. You don't need luck when you have mastery. The world opens up to those who have sharpened their craft so well that they become undeniable. So stop saying, I want to be successful. Start saying, I want to be skilled, because success doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the prepared. And when preparation meets opportunity, it's not luck. It's earned victory. Let me tell you something powerful. Your ability to communicate will decide how far you go in business, in leadership, and in life. Because in the real world, it's not the person with the best idea who wins. It's the person who can sell that idea, who can make others believe, who can make people feel what they feel. You see, communication isn't just about speaking, it's about connecting. And connection is currency. The moment people trust your voice, they will invest in your vision. You can have the best product, the smartest strategy, and the most brilliant mind, but if you can't communicate, none of it matters. The marketplace doesn't reward silence. It rewards those who can articulate their value. You don't get paid for what you know. You get paid for what you can express clearly enough for others to understand, believe, and buy into. And that's the skill most people underestimate: the power of words. Words move people. Words create emotion, and emotion drives action. Let me give you the truth. People don't buy products. They buy stories. They don't follow leaders because of logic. They follow because of belief. You can have the right facts, the right figures, the perfect plan, but if you can't communicate it in a way that moves hearts, you'll be invisible in the crowd. Communication is the bridge between your idea and the world's attention. It's how you turn thought into influence and influence into income. Think about it. Every great movement began with words. Every great leader used the power of communication to ignite belief. Steve Jobs didn't sell computers. He sold thinking differently. Martin Luther King didn't just give a speech. He gave the world a dream. Elon Musk doesn't talk about electric cars. He paints a picture of the future. They all mastered one thing: the ability to make people see what they saw, to make people feel what they felt. That's communication at its highest level. So let me ask you, can you move people with your words? Can you make someone understand your vision so deeply that it becomes their mission too? Because when you can do that, you're no longer a speaker, you're a leader. Every entrepreneur, every business owner, every dreamer must understand this. Your voice is your weapon. Your story is your advantage. Your words can build empires or destroy them. Use them wisely. Here's the hook. Communication is not about talking more, it's about talking better. Most people speak to be heard, but great communicators speak to be felt. They don't just talk to fill silence, they talk to create meaning. You can fill a room with noise and still say nothing, but one sentence, one pause, one truth, delivered with conviction, can shift an entire conversation. That's what powerful communication does. It doesn't just inform, it transforms. And the irony is, in business today, where everyone is shouting for attention, the real power belongs to the one who knows how to speak with clarity. Simplicity wins, confidence wins, authenticity wins. When you communicate with honesty and authority, people feel it. And when they feel it, they remember it. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You have to be real. Speak from your truth. Speak from your experience. Speak from your conviction. When you communicate from that place, people don't just listen. They lean in, because the energy behind your words is stronger than the words themselves. The world can feel your intention. The best communicators in business aren't the ones with the biggest vocabularies. They're the ones who know how to connect emotion to message, because emotion is the gateway to trust, and trust is the foundation of every sale, every partnership, every relationship. When people trust you, they'll follow you, buy from you, and build with you. That's why mastering communication is not optional, it's essential. Think about every pitch, every meeting, every conversation you've ever had. How many times did your words fall flat because they lacked conviction? How many opportunities slipped because you didn't express your vision clearly enough? Communication is not just an art, it's a competitive advantage. The better you communicate, the more influence you gain. And influence is the new form of wealth. Here's another truth. Communication starts before you even open your mouth. It's in your body language, your tone, your presence. People can feel your confidence before they hear your words. They can sense your uncertainty before you even speak. That's why you must align your message with your energy. Because when your energy and your words are in harmony, you become magnetic. People want to listen. They want to follow. They want to believe. Let me challenge you. Stop hiding behind, "I'm not a good speaker." You don't need to be perfect. You need to be authentic. Stop memorizing lines and start telling stories. People remember stories because stories make them feel human. When you share your failures, your lessons, your truth, you become relatable. And relatability is more powerful than perfection. In business, communication is the difference between a product that sells and a product that fails. It's the difference between a brand people forget and a brand they love. It's not what you do, it's how you say what you do. It's how you make people feel about what you do. The right words can open doors that skill alone cannot. When you master the art of communication, you gain leverage. You can inspire your team, close deals faster, build networks stronger, and lead with impact. Because every business is built on relationships, and relationships are built on words. The way you communicate determines the way people respond to you. You either attract or repel. You either inspire confidence or create confusion. You either move people or lose them. So the next time you speak, ask yourself, am I just talking or am I connecting? Am I filling the air or am I creating belief? Because one sentence spoken with clarity and conviction can change the direction of your life. That's the power of communication. It's not a soft skill, and it's the core skill. When you learn to communicate with passion, purpose, and precision, you become unstoppable. People follow voices that give them direction. They follow leaders who speak to their spirit, not just their logic. And when your words carry the weight of truth, they will travel farther than you ever will. So speak like your vision depends on it, because it does. Speak like your future is listening, because it is. And speak like every word you say could open a new door, because it can. Because communication is not just a skill, it's the bridge between where you are and where you could be. It's the voice of your destiny. Let me tell you something straight. And if you can't sell, you can't survive in business. Because no matter how great your idea is, how advanced your product is, or how passionate you are about your dream, If you can't convince others to believe in it, it dies with you. Sales is not about money. It's about belief transfer. It's about taking what you believe so deeply and helping others see that it can change their lives. And once you understand that, selling stops being a hustle and becomes an act of service. Here's the truth most people never learn. Sales isn't about talking people into something they don't need. It's about understanding what they do need, often better than they understand it themselves. It's about listening with empathy, thinking with strategy, and communicating with conviction. The best salespeople in the world aren't manipulators. They're problem solvers. They don't push. They present value. They don't chase. They connect. Because selling is not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships. Now listen carefully. Every single person in business is in sales, whether they realize it or not. You're always selling something. You're selling your ideas to investors, your vision to your team, your product to your customers, your brand to the market. Even in life, you're selling your energy, your confidence, your story. So if you hate selling, you're actually saying you hate growing. Because everything you want in business sits on the other side of your ability to sell. Here's the hook. People don't buy from the best product. They buy from the best communicator of value. You can have a better solution and still lose if you don't know how to make people feel the difference. The secret to great sales isn't persuasion, it's connection. When you genuinely understand someone's pain point, when you care enough to listen, when you take the time to solve, you don't have to convince. They want to buy because people don't buy for logical reasons. They buy for emotional ones. Logic makes them think. Emotion makes them act. Every sale begins with emotion and ends with logic. They justify what their heart already decided. That's why your job is not to overwhelm them with features, facts, and figures. Your job is to paint a picture, to show them a future where their problem no longer exists, where their life is better because of your solution. If you can help people see that future, they'll pay you to take them there. But here's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Amateurs sell products. Professionals sell outcomes. Amateurs talk about what something is. Professionals talk about what it does. Don't sell the gym. Sell confidence. Don't sell a course. Sell transformation. Don't sell insurance. Sell peace of mind. Because when you stop selling things and start selling feelings, everything changes. The best salespeople don't speak the loudest, they listen the deepest. They know how to read tone, catch hesitation, and respond with empathy. Because sales is not about pressure, it's about partnership. You're not forcing people to buy, you're helping them make a decision that serves them. You're not there to convince, you're there to clarify. The difference between manipulation and motivation is intention. If your intention is to help, your customer will feel it. And people always respond to sincerity. Let me give you a reality check. If you think sales is beneath you, you'll always be beneath those who can sell. Because no matter how great your business is, you will eventually reach a point where the only thing that keeps it alive is your ability to communicate value, build trust, and create results. You can outsource design, marketing, even management. But you can't outsource your ability to connect with another human being and show them the value of what you offer. That's on you. Here's another truth. Selling isn't a one-time event. It's a long-term relationship. The goal isn't just to make a sale. It's to build a client. The best salespeople don't just close deals. They create advocates. They turn customers into fans and fans into marketers. Because when you serve people so well that they trust you, they don't just buy from you, they bring others to you. That's how you build a business that grows without chasing every lead. And this is where most entrepreneurs fail. They sell to make money, not to make impact. They forget that money is the result, not the purpose. But when you make your purpose to serve, to genuinely make life easier for others, money becomes a natural outcome. Because people can feel when your heart is in the right place. They can sense when you care about more than the transaction. And when people feel understood, they buy. When they feel heard, they stay. Let me drop this truth bomb. Confidence is your greatest sales strategy. People don't buy from those who doubt themselves. If you hesitate about your product, if you're unsure of your value, that energy leaks. Your customer feels it. But when you speak with conviction, when your belief is unshakable, they trust you even before they fully understand you, because belief is contagious. Conviction converts faster than any pitch deck. And the beautiful thing is, sales is a skill. You can learn it, refine it, and master it. The more you do it, the better you get. You learn when to speak and when to listen. You learn how to handle objections without fear. You learn that a no is not rejection, it's redirection. Every no gets you closer to a yes. Every conversation teaches you something. The best salespeople are not born confident. They become confident through repetition, through experience, through resilience. Think about it. Every empire that exists today started with someone selling something to someone. Every innovation had to be sold to investors. Every vision had to be sold to a team. Every movement had to be sold to the public. The act of selling is the foundation of human progress. It's how ideas spread. It's how businesses grow. It's how legacies are built. So if you're in business, embrace the art of sales. Learn to love it. Because when you truly understand sales as service, it changes your entire perspective. You stop chasing customers and start attracting believers. You stop focusing on making money and start focusing on making meaning. And when you make meaning, money follows. Here's your reminder. Selling is not about what you say. It's about what they feel. It's not about closing deals. It's about opening minds. And it's not about convincing people to buy. It's about helping them realize why they can't afford not to. Because when your intention is pure, your message is powerful. And when your message is powerful, the world listens. That's what real selling is like, not pushing, not persuading, but serving. Because when you sell with purpose, you don't just make a profit, you make a difference. And that, my friend, is the kind of business that lasts. Let me tell you something. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about being responsible. It's not about the position you hold. It's about the posture you carry. Anyone can call themselves a leader, but true leadership is earned in the trenches, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when decisions have to be made, when you stand firm, even when the ground beneath you shakes. Leadership is not given by a title. It's proven by your ability to turn vision into movement and people into believers. Here's the truth. People don't follow bosses. They follow energy. They follow conviction. They follow those who make them feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. You don't inspire people by commanding them. You inspire them by showing them. Real leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the calmest presence in the storm. It's about having the courage to lead when others freeze, to stand when others bow, and to believe when others doubt. Now listen carefully. Leadership isn't about power, it's about purpose. It's not about control, it's about clarity. When your vision is clear, your presence commands respect, not fear. The world doesn't need more bosses, it needs more builders, people who can see what doesn't yet exist and make it real. That's the kind of leadership that transforms organizations, communities, and generations. The greatest mistake people make is thinking leadership is about titles or authority. You can have a title and still be irrelevant. You can have power and still have no influence, because influence doesn't come from a position, it comes from principle. And principle-driven leadership always outlasts authority-driven control. When people trust your character, they'll walk through fire with you. But if they only follow your instructions, they'll leave the moment you turn your back. Here's the hook. Leadership is not about how many people you manage. It's about how many people you develop. It's about multiplying greatness, not monopolizing it. Weak leaders build followers. Strong leaders build leaders. Because true success is not when people need you. It's when they don't. The best leaders create independence, not dependency. They create environments where others rise, where others shine, where others win. But here's the painful truth. Leadership will test you. It will demand sacrifice. It will demand sleepless nights, hard choices, and moments of loneliness. Because when you lead, you walk a path most people avoid. You carry the weight of other people's fears, dreams, and expectations. And still, you must keep moving forward with vision and strength. Leadership is not a privilege, it's a burden of honor, and not everyone can carry it. Leadership also means accountability. It means when things go wrong, you take responsibility. And when things go right, you give credit, because the ego destroys what leadership builds. The moment you make leadership about yourself, you lose the trust of those who believed in your mission. The true leader is humble enough to learn, strong enough to stand, and wise enough to listen. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. Leadership is about emotional intelligence. It's not just strategy and decision making, it's empathy, patience, and understanding. People don't work for companies, they work for leaders. They don't quit jobs, they quit people. And if you can't connect with your team emotionally, you'll never inspire them intellectually. You can't demand loyalty, you must earn it. And you earn it by showing people that you care more about their growth than your glory. Think about it. Every great company, every great movement, every great revolution started with a leader who had the courage to go first. Someone who saw light when everyone else saw darkness. Someone who believed before others believed. That's what leadership is. Going first, even when it's hard. You become the example. You set the tone. You show what's possible. And because you did it, others find the courage to do it too. Here's another truth. Leadership is not about perfection. It's about progress. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to be willing to find them. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to move despite fear. The best leaders aren't perfect people. They're people who keep showing up. They fail, they learn, they adjust, and they rise again. Their consistency is what earns them credibility. Because people don't follow leaders who never fall. They follow leaders who never quit. And let me tell you something even deeper. And leadership is service. It's not about being above your people. It's about being among them. It's not about being recognized. It's about being responsible. When you serve your people, when you fight for their future, when you protect their trust, they will give you everything they've got, because people will go to war for a leader who fights for them. That's the kind of loyalty that no salary, no title, no policy can buy. Leadership also means making hard decisions when popularity fades. Sometimes you'll have to do what's right over what's easy. Sometimes you'll have to stand alone. Sometimes you'll have to carry a vision that no one else understands yet. And that's the moment where true leadership is born. When you're willing to hold faith in the unseen. When you believe in the mission, even when the results haven't shown up yet. That's the test of leadership. Not how you lead when it's easy, but how you lead when everything falls apart. Here's the hook. The true measure of leadership isn't how high you climb. It's how many people you lift on your way up. Leadership is not success if it's selfish. Real leaders don't create followers who clap. They create successors who continue the mission. Legacy is built when your influence outlives your presence. That's what great leadership does. It echoes long after you're gone. Every leader must remember this. Your people don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. They don't need you to have all the answers. They need you to care enough to find them together. They don't need a boss who demands. They need a believer who inspires. And when your leadership becomes about lifting others, you unlock a power that can change not only your business, but your destiny. Leadership is not a skill you learn once. It's a responsibility you carry daily. Every decision you make sets an example. Every word you speak creates a ripple. Every action you take builds culture. So lead with purpose, lead with courage, lead with heart. Because the world doesn't remember those who commanded. It remembers those who transformed. It's not how much you make that defines your wealth. It's how much you understand about the money you make. You see, most people want to be rich, but very few want to be financially intelligent. They chase income but ignore insight. They celebrate paychecks but avoid the principles. And that's why so many people earn more than they've ever earned before, yet remain broke, stressed, and trapped. The problem is not the money. The problem is the mindset. Money doesn't stay where it's not respected. Money doesn't grow where it's not understood. And money doesn't multiply where it's not managed. The first rule of wealth is not earning, it's learning. Because if you don't understand money, money will always misunderstand you. You can work 12 hours a day, run a business, close deals, and still end up with nothing to show for it, simply because you never mastered the discipline of financial intelligence. And make no mistake, financial intelligence is a skill. You can learn it, you can build it, but it requires humility to admit what you don't know and discipline to apply what you learn. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they lack financial awareness. They think cash flow is just a term for accountants. Budgeting is boring and investing is risky. No, my friend, ignorance is risky, impulsiveness is dangerous, and financial blindness is fatal. The truth is, money is emotional. It reveals who you are before it multiplies what you have. If you're careless with $100, don't expect to be wise with 100,000. Wealth doesn't change your habits. It exposes them. That's why you must learn to control your emotions before you control your finances, because every financial mistake begins with an emotional decision: buying to impress, spending to escape, or saving too late. Financial intelligence teaches you the opposite. It teaches restraint, patience, and clarity. It teaches you to ask, will this purchase make me look rich or become rich? There's a difference. One feeds your ego, the other feeds your future. When I was younger, someone once told me, if you can't manage $1, you don't deserve $1 million. And at the time it sounded harsh, but over the years I realized the wisdom in those words, because money doesn't come to those who want it. It comes to those who can handle it. Look at any successful entrepreneur, investor, or leader you admire. They all share one thing in common. They understand cash flow. They know where every cent goes, how every dollar works, and how every investment compounds. They don't just make money, they make money move. And when you learn to make your money move with purpose, you'll never have to chase it again. The financially intelligent know that wealth isn't measured by what you earn. It's measured by what you keep, what you grow, and what you give. They understand that saving is not about being stingy, it's about being strategic. They know that every dollar saved is a soldier in your army of wealth, ready to fight for your freedom. But here's the catch: saving alone won't make you rich. You must deploy your money wisely. You must make it work harder than you do. And that's where most people stop. They save, but they never invest. They're afraid. They want guarantees in a world where even breathing isn't guaranteed. But here's the truth: you can't build wealth without taking calculated risks. Financial intelligence isn't about avoiding risk. It's about managing it. It's knowing when to step in and when to step out. It's knowing how to build safety nets without losing your ambition. Think about this. Every rich person you know once had a poor mindset they had to overcome. Every successful entrepreneur was once financially ignorant until they decided to learn. The difference between the wealthy and the struggling isn't luck. It's literacy. It's the ability to read money the way others read words. When you become fluent in the language of finance, you stop being intimidated by it. You stop blaming the economy, your boss, or the government. You realize that financial power is not given, it's grown. You stop living paycheck to paycheck because you start thinking principle to profit. Here's the harsh truth: if you don't tell your money where to go, it will decide where it wants to go, and it will always go away from you. That's why budgeting isn't boring. It's freedom. It's the art of directing your financial energy towards your goals. And when you budget with clarity, you stop saying, I can't afford it, and start saying, how can I afford it? That shift alone changes everything. Because one question kills possibility and the other creates it. Financial intelligence is not about living in fear of spending. It's about spending with intention. It's about knowing that every purchase is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. It's understanding that your money is a mirror, reflecting your priorities, your discipline, and your dreams. You can't pray for prosperity and live in financial chaos. You can't ask for blessings and ignore balance sheets. Because the universe doesn't reward confusion, it rewards clarity. So if you want to be wealthy, start by mastering the basics. Learn how money flows in and out of your life. Track it, respect it, and multiply it. Read books, seek mentors, study the wealthy, and understand their thinking. Don't just copy what they buy, learn how they decide. Because financial intelligence is not about having more money. It's about being trusted with more money. And trust is earned through wisdom, not luck. The game is simple. The financially aware own their future. The financially blind rent it. And in a world where everyone is chasing wealth, only those who understand its language will truly keep it. So don't just make money, make sense of money. Because when you do, wealth stops being something you chase and becomes something you become. Freedom is not given, it's earned through the skills you build and the discipline you master. The world doesn't pay you for showing up, it pays you for showing value. And value doesn't come from luck, connections, or privilege. It comes from competence. From the hours you invest when no one's watching, from the sacrifices you make when no one claps. The truth is, success doesn't belong to the talented, it belongs to the skilled. Talent opens the door, but skill keeps you in the room. The marketplace is brutal. It doesn't care about your potential. It cares about your performance. It doesn't reward effort, it rewards effectiveness. And effectiveness comes from mastery. When you build real skills, communication, leadership, sales, financial intelligence, you stop surviving and start dominating. You stop competing and start creating. These 4 skills are not just business tools, they are life weapons. They give you leverage in every environment, power in every conversation, and confidence in every challenge. They make you adaptable, relevant, and unstoppable. You see, most people wait for the right opportunity to show up before they prepare. The wise prepare so that any opportunity becomes the right one. You can't predict the economy, the market, or the trends, but you can prepare your skill set. Because no matter how the world changes, skill will always have currency. The more skilled you are, the less you have to chase. Opportunities begin to chase you. People begin to trust you. Money begins to find you. That's not magic. That's mastery. Think about it. The reason most people stay stuck is not because they don't work hard. It's because they're working wrong. They keep doing more of the same, expecting a different result. They spend years perfecting comfort instead of developing capability. And then they wonder why the world moves forward without them. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to rise, you have to outgrow your habits. You have to stop being loyal to your limitations. You have to trade your excuses for excellence. Because every skill you refuse to learn becomes a door you'll never open. Let's talk about power. Real power doesn't come from position or money. It comes from competence. The person who can solve the problem has the power. The person who can communicate the vision has the influence. The person who can lead others has the leverage. And the person who understands money has the freedom. That's why skills are more valuable than salaries. Because skills create options, and options create power. You don't need to beg for opportunities when you've built the ability to create them. You don't need to chase investors when your skills make people believe in your vision. You don't need to fear the economy when your expertise makes you indispensable. The reason skills matter more than ever is because the world is changing faster than ever. Technology is replacing jobs, markets are shifting overnight, and attention spans are shrinking. But skill, deep, timeless skill, will always survive disruption. The communicator will always be needed because words still move the world. The leader will always be needed because people still crave direction. The salesperson will always be needed because problems still need solutions. And the financially intelligent will always be needed because money still seeks management. Skill is the one investment that can never be taken away from you. It's your armor in chaos, your passport in uncertainty, your advantage in competition. But here's the thing most people don't understand. Skills are not learned by accident. They are built by design. You don't stumble into mastery. You sacrifice for it. You practice when others rest. You study when others scroll. You fail forward. You learn from rejection. You grow from resistance. And you keep showing up even when it's uncomfortable. Because comfort never created champions. The top 1% didn't get there by chance. They got there by choice. They decided that average wasn't an option. They decided that good wasn't good enough. They decided to keep sharpening their tools when everyone else was dulling theirs with distraction. If you want to change your life, don't chase money, chase mastery. Don't ask, how can I make more? Ask, how can I become more? Because when you become more valuable, the world has no choice but to pay attention. When you become irreplaceable, the market has no choice but to reward you. And when you build skills that serve others, the universe has no choice but to serve you. That's the law of value. That's the foundation of freedom. The reality is, every skill you build compounds. Communication makes your leadership more powerful. Leadership makes your sales more effective. Sales makes your financial intelligence more actionable. And financial intelligence turns all your effort into freedom. It's a chain of power. Each skill strengthens the next. And when you master all four, you no longer work for success. Success works for you. You stop running after opportunity and start becoming opportunity. So when people say, I just want to be free, I ask them, free from what? Or free to do what? Because freedom without skill is fantasy. Freedom without discipline is danger. You earn freedom by becoming capable, not by wishing for it. The more capable you become, the fewer people can control your future. That's the beauty of skill. It liberates you. It builds confidence. It makes you recession-proof, rejection-proof, and excuse-proof. The world is filled with people chasing shortcuts, but shortcuts only work when you already know the long way. Skills are the long way. They take time, they take patience, but they pay forever. So don't just pray for opportunities, prepare for them. Don't just dream of success, design yourself for it. Every minute you spend learning, every hour you spend improving, every mistake you turn into a lesson is an investment in your future. And someday, when others wonder how you did it, you'll smile knowing the truth. They were chasing results while you were building skills.